In this video, we're going to be taking a look at why viral videos might actually be hurting your business. Going viral always feels like you're winning, but behind the scenes, it might be doing a lot of damage and hurting your lead generation. Before you chase views, you need to hear this. Viral content can attract the worst kind of audience. What if your most popular video is the reason you're not generating any leads? Now, there's a lot of positive in this video. There's actually 2 paths to success on YouTube, and by the end of this video, you'll have clarity on both paths and which one is right for you. Let's dive right in. In the world of YouTube training, there is a lot of expertise out there. There's a lot of YouTube experts or YouTube gurus out there. Now, I'm not going to tell you that what these people teach is wrong. What I'm going to share is that there's actually 2 different paths, and we'll explain those 2 different paths in a moment, but there's a drastic difference between what I'm teaching and what everyone here is teaching. A few of these people up here are actually friends of mine, and many of them teach some wonderful things about video production, how to keep people engaged, how to attract more subscribers, but they all have one thing in common. They all want ad revenue. That is the end goal. Now, there's a mixture. Some people in here talk about lead generation or they talk about using YouTube for your business, but they're not really following a path that leads to that. The main path that they're following leads to ad revenue. I'm going to reveal one more person here, Derral Eves. Derral Eves is a good friend of mine. Now, he also teaches ad revenue is the way to go. And this is his book, The YouTube Formula. Now, I have him stand out among all the rest because of all these people, who has had the most success? Who has helped the most people succeed on YouTube? And that's easily Derral Eves. If you look here, you're not going to be able to see this. My editing team will have to put the book on the screen, but it says the foreword is by Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast or Jimmy hired Derral when his channel was around 1 million subscribers, and Derral really helped him grow to the massive channel that it is, almost 400 million subscribers. Now, Derral has done that for many channels. Many dozens of channels have huge success because of his YouTube formula. The things that are the most important for this strategy is you want a lot of views. I made a big messy arrow to indicate a lot of views. The more views you get, the more ad revenue you make. The biggest goal of your content is it needs to entertain, right? So you're making fun, entertaining content to get the most views as possible. You want your content to go viral. This does say viral. It's the marker's fault that the V looks terrible. Now, what's confusing in the world of YouTube is there's this strategy, the YouTube formula strategy, and there's the other strategy I'm going to teach you. And these people kind of mix them together. You'll hear some advice that's more like my strategy mixed in with advice that Derral teaches. Later in this video, I'll share with you a story about how I tried mixing them and the results were awful. But when you keep them separate, you either go on one path or the other, you can have amazing, amazing success. All right, so I've got 2 books here. Derral's book is called The YouTube Formula. My book is called A Hero's Guide to Influence on YouTube. In this book, I teach the leaf strategy. In a future video, you're going to see me talk about more detail on the leaf strategy. But let's talk about what is the core, what is the purpose or the end goal of my strategy. We're doing this for lead generation, okay? So you already have a business outside of YouTube where here you have a YouTube channel and you're turning that channel into a business. That's what that represents there. So you have a YouTube channel that grows and it becomes a business. You're actually an independent contractor for YouTube. They pay you. So this ad revenue, that's all the advertisers that pay YouTube for that advertising. And because those ads are shown next to your videos, you get paid. You get paid 55% of that. But over here, you already have a business, right? You know how to sell things. You know how to attract customers and turn them into clients. This strategy works especially well if your business has an educational component, like you're a coach or a consultant, you have courses, you do public speaking. So you have a successful business, but you can really leverage YouTube for massive, massive lead generation. Let me explain one other huge difference. Okay, so let's say your goal is to make $10,000 in a certain amount of time. What would you have to do over here to generate $10,000? That would be about 1 million views. What about over here? If you wanted to generate that same $10,000, how many views would you need over here? Just about 100, okay? So you definitely want to learn this strategy. If your goal is lead generation, you don't need a huge amount of views. You don't need to go viral. And in the intro of this video, I talked about the problems of going viral. You'll understand that by the end of this video, okay? So just stay with me. So over here, we talked about you're creating entertaining content. So what type of content do you create over here? You're educating them, right? So you're creating this how-to type content. And over here, we're focusing on going viral. So what type of content or traffic are we focusing on over here? Over here, I'm going to teach you how to dominate search. I actually learned some amazing things a decade ago from Derral about search, but things always change in the algorithm, and to get as many views as possible and to go viral, you actually don't want to focus on search anymore. So anytime you hear these people talking about keyword research or picking the right keywords, or if you're using tools like TubeBuddy or vidIQ, TubeBuddy and vidIQ are really great if you're following this strategy, but their keyword tools are very flawed. And in fact, you could leave the keyword field blank. You don't need to do keyword research or anything for this strategy. In fact, this guy right here, I just made another episode reviewing one of his episodes where he's talking about how to get one of your videos to rank #1 in YouTube search. He even demonstrated, he said, watch, when you go to YouTube and you type in this phrase, look whose video is at the top. And in his video, he showed himself ranking at the top. The problem is when you go to YouTube or I go to YouTube and we type in that phrase, he's not ranking at the top. It was kind of a fun video to film because when I actually did this for 2 of the 3 searches, my videos were actually ranking at the top. More than just bragging and saying, hey, my videos are ranked at the top, because I have thousands of videos that I can show you that are ranking at the top. And if you subscribe to this channel and watch other videos, you will see all of those, but you're gonna come away knowing exactly how to get your videos ranked at the top. And it's not just theory. I have a tactical approach that I'm gonna teach you. And if you follow those steps, your videos will rank at the top. Even if your channel's brand new, give yourself a few months and you can find yourself dominating a topic in your niche. Okay, one of the biggest differences we need to talk about between these 2 strategies is the audience and how you react to the audience. So an audience is key in both cases, but here you follow your audience. And over here, you've got to curate, or you've got to protect your audience, and I'll explain what I mean. All right, so to explain this, whether you want to follow your audience or protect your audience, I'll explain a story and a big mistake I made on my Nate Woodbury channel. Now on that channel, I had a lot of traction talking about YouTube strategy, and I also made a video titled Why I Hire People in the Philippines. This was a great topic for my audience, but it was liked even more by people in the Philippines. They loved that I was talking so positively about their country, and many of them were hoping that I would hire them. So that first video took off. It was really exciting. It definitely went viral, and I loved it. I loved the feeling of that. I loved the fireworks that YouTube gives you. So what did I do? I made more content about the Philippines, and I fed that, and those videos did really well. In fact, that first video ended up getting 1.5 million views. And yes, it did result in a good amount of ad revenue. And because Derral Leaves is a great friend of mine, we were talking, and he said, and the YouTube algorithm was also saying, Nate, don't make more content talking about YouTube strategy. You need to run with this and keep talking about the Philippines. So he was recommending that I needed to follow this new audience. Now, why was that a bad thing for me? Well, I have a business outside of YouTube, and I use YouTube for lead generation. I'm currently producing over 60 different YouTube channels. And so talking about YouTube strategy is pretty important. But what happened now when I would post a video on YouTube strategy is this new audience. I had attracted tens of thousands of subscribers from the Philippines who did not like this YouTube strategy content. They wanted me to talk more about the Philippines. So the more I tried to follow the audience, the more it hurt the strategy over here, and I really hurt my existing audience. See, over here, when you have a business, you know who your target audience is. You know these people who are a perfect fit for your business, for your services, for your expertise. They need you. They just don't know you exist yet. And if you focus on search is amazing, and search has gotten way better since AI has come about. See, people go to Google and YouTube and they're typing in questions, they're typing in their challenges that they're trying to figure out. And if you can do keyword research and find, okay, what are they typing in? What are these really specific questions? You can make a video that answers that question, and boom, you're right there in front of your target audience. So if a video goes viral and it starts getting in front of other people that aren't searching for you, that maybe think that this is really entertaining, then that can be a problem and really hurt the audience that you're trying to protect, this audience that you're trying to curate. So when we're talking about the difference between 1 million views and 100 views, this 100 people, These are so valuable. These are people that are searching for your expertise. In fact, they need your help. You can have 1 million views and not generate a single lead, but when people are searching for you, you can get 100 views and generate 10 leads easy. I have a gift for you. Okay, I'd like to give you a copy of my book. Okay, you can get it in paperback. It's printed in full color, and I call this a gift because I'm not going to make any profit, but I am going to have you pay the printing and shipping cost, okay? So it'll come out to like $12 or $13. I put 2 years of effort and energy into creating this book so I can paint the entire picture so that you can get results, so that you can generate leads from YouTube. When you read this book, you're going to find a little bit of theory backed up by a ton of tactical action. If you implement what's in here, you will get results. Just go to natesyoutubebook.com. You just pay the printing and shipping. That's my gift to you.